Thank
Okay.
you. We're waiting and we're live.
Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. If everyone could maybe please mute your microphone, and we'll have everyone close cameras for the moment. And let's see here. All right, we're ready to go. And if everyone could just thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to open our meeting today. It's Friday, November 15th, and it's 9 a.m. We are live on YouTube, and if everyone could please mute your microphones and close your cameras for the initial welcome. This is our quarterly Hard of Hearing Task Force meeting, and my name is Christy Abrams. I'm the Hard of Hearing Specialist, joining you from the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. A few important points. Our meetings are accessible. We have ASL interpreters and communication access, real-time translation, CART captions, created by a highly trained live person right here in our meeting, and this gives us the most accurate captions possible. Just a quick note, because CART is, I'm so passionate about CART, and I want to just let everyone know that may be joining us on YouTube or watching this in the future. CART gives hard of hearing people access in various settings: medical appointments, courtrooms, classrooms, workshops, entertainment venues, and beyond. So hard of hearing people are protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and that gives us the right to request accommodations such as CART. It's the gold standard, and it's the best kept secret, but I always like to point that out. All right. Without further ado, I would like all of the Hard of Hearing Task Force members to please turn on your cameras. I'll wait for everyone to open up their cameras so we can see your faces and appreciate you being here this morning. I'm going to do roll call. And when I call your name, if you could please say here, and then I'll be able to have that information for our minutes. Okay, let's see here. Roz Siebold.
Here.
Thank you, Roz. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ron Tolman.
Here.
Welcome. Melanie O'Rourke.
Good morning.
Thank you. Liz Booth.
Here.
And Harvey Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning. And good morning to you too, Harry. Thank you for joining us this morning. We look forward to having you with us. Okay. Thank you for the roll call. And now I'm going to let everyone go ahead and you can close your cameras. Oh, Cynthia. I'm so sorry. Cynthia is here. Thank you, Michelle. I didn't see her camera.
Yes,
Cynthia?
I'm here.
Thank
I don't
you.
know why it's turned off.
That's okay. I'm so glad to know you're here. And Michelle, thank you for adding that. Okay, everyone. We've got our roll call all set, and welcome. So happy to have you with us. And for our next item on the agenda, I would like to give a very warm welcome to Latrina Harris Lewis. She is our brand new Family Services Specialist, and I'm going to have her pop on here. Latrina, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Yeah, so excited to have you. And if you could just spend a little bit of time telling us about your history and about your new role here at the Commission.
Well, sure. Absolutely. Thank you all for the warm welcome. First of all, I have been looking forward to being involved in this. This is my 7th week at ACDHH as this family service specialist. I am focusing on families, and that means parents, grandparents, children from birth to 18. We may extend it to 22 if they are still in high school. So, we are providing various resources, references that the family might need to be able to support their children, whether it be in education, in life, in home, whatever is needed. We provide resources for hearing aid services, audiological different appointments, and we're providing that support from FCSS. That's very exciting for me. My history is that I'm a classroom teacher and I have been for 20 years. And that's the foundation, teaching first, second, and third grade. I have a passion for families, and I can tell they're doing well. As students, I can see how families grow and thrive and develop, and also their struggles. That's when we can identify what families need. And that's why I'm excited to be in this new role. I have an IDEA, a plan, an IEP background. So I am aware of all of that. And I'm here to advocate for the child. Providing is key. From IDEA and that transition as they age out and move into elementary school and to high school, and that being ready for post-secondary education as well. But that's a little bit about me, and thanks for having me here today.
Wonderful. So happy to have you with us, Latrina. Latrina and I just recently were in Tucson together for the Senior Expo at the Tucson Expo Center. And so we had a lot of great turnout. Yeah, a lot of people deaf and hard of hearing, and hearing people stopping by our table to get information and learn about the
Yes, it was a
commission.
great event.
It was really fun. Okay, thank you, Latrina. Thanks for being here today. You're welcome to stay on for the meeting. Does anybody have any questions for Latrina? Okay. All right.
No questions. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, we have the approval of our minutes from August for any of you who are present at our last meeting in August. And I did send the minutes. The other thing I want to make sure to let you know, if ever within about 3 to 4 days after our meeting, I do post those to our website. So you can click on our website and find those anytime to review those, and I sent them out too. And if anybody has any recommendations for changes or corrections, please let me know. And if not, if anybody would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from August. Yes, Melanie?
I move to accept the minutes from the August 18th, 2024 Hard of Hearing Task Force meeting.
Thank you. Thank you. Would anybody like to second the motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I heard Roz first, so thank you very much to both of you. Okay, our minutes have been approved for August 16th, 2024 as is. Appreciate that very much. All right, next on our agenda, we have Nikki Sukup, who is our Director of Public Policy and Community Relations, and she is going to be sharing her report with us. Welcome, Nikki.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Sukup. I'm the Director of Public Policy and Community Relations with HOH. And it's great to see everyone here this morning. I will touch on some policy and community issues. Right now, with policy, the biggest issue is the latest election. And looking at the latest political landscape on a federal level and a state level and how that will impact us, our communities, and as for impacting HOH, what's happening on we will not be directly impacted, but our communities may be. So we are actively watching the upcoming changes that may occur with the new administration. As we know, the president and the House and the Senate are Republican dominated. And on the Arizona side, we have a Democratic governor, and the House and the Senate are also Republican dominated. This year in Arizona, this upcoming year, this upcoming session, we are looking at a higher margin in between the number of Republicans and the number of Democrats. And so, for example, in the Senate, we have 17 Republicans and 13 Democrats, which means that the likelihood of a bill passing will be more so the Republican agenda. And so what we are going to do is work around how can we continue to ensure that our community needs are being met, and we can continue to expand at a level that would be supported. And so with all these changes, we are looking at who the leaders are and making those connections, um, uh, starting to have internal conversations on what priorities that we would like to pursue. One priority from last session that we would like to continue and expand on this session is the need for the deaf, blind, and combined vision hearing loss communities. And right now, there is a need for increased support service provider services. And the program has been maxed. And so we would like to expand this, and we have requested additional funding in our budget act to the governor. If the governor approves, then this will also be recognized in the legislature. And that will help us push the need for the additional funding for the SSP program. Other considerations involved the deafblind community has been asking for legislative training for a way to meet with legislators at the Capitol. And so we are working on this right now and will involve members of the community in the near future to determine what this looks like. Rob Borek, our Community Service Program Manager, and I are meeting next week to talk further about deafblind legislative strategies and activities, and I look forward to this. So that's the gist of what we're looking for. We continue to ask for funding for our agency, and this is coming from the Telecommunications Fund for the Deaf, which is subsidy by, I don't know if that's the right word, funded by the revenue source from all there's a small percentage of tax on all the landline phones throughout the state of Arizona that give us income. And there's more there. We will continue to talk about the need of and the importance of our agency and the services and programs that we provide as we push the need for deafblind funding. We will talk about HOH and its importance. And so having that, while we spotlight the deafblind issues, we are also talking about HOH, and it's important to maintain and continue and to grow and expand, and also have that funding as well. And so that it's more of an education awareness strategy that we can come back to the legislature with and request for a different means of revenue toward the telecommunications fund. So that's the uh, overall political policy angle right now. As for community relation, we have Rena, our community engagement coordinator, is not here today, so I'll go ahead and touch on some of the activities that she's been working on. And one of the uh, upcoming events is in Prescott next week, Friday, November 22nd. And we are doing a smoke alarm walk that will be focused on bringing smoke alarms at no cost to individuals who sign up who are deaf or hard of hearing or deafblind and sign up and will do the smoke install in their home. The fire department will be giving out breakfast in the morning for the volunteers. If you are interested or know of people in the Prescott area, then please do reach out and we can make those connections. We can send you more information. I'm trying to think any other community event that we will be hosting an event at the Hood Museum next May, but I'll wait and let Lena talk more on that. I think that's about, as much as the important information. We continue to share information through our social media and e-news and welcome feedback at any time if there's other means of sharing information and the usefulness and relevance of that information. So please do share that as well. All right, I think that'll be it.
Thank you, Nikki. If anyone has any questions for Nikki, you're welcome to turn your camera on and feel free to ask if you have any questions.
So, would you like? I just remembered. Would you like me to talk a little bit about the McAlpin issue?
Yes, thank you, Nikki.
McAlpin. Okay. So earlier, this I would say a couple months ago, there was a big news story that broke, and this investigator, Dave Viscombe, had discovered an incident, a court hearing that was happening of a deaf Black disabled man was being charged with assault against police officers. And this story broke, and we learned after watching the body cam of each of the police officers and learning that what had happened is that they had jumped him without him being aware of what's going on and without realizing that he was deaf, and did not give him the opportunity to tell them that he was deaf when they approached. And so if there is a number of news, we have all the links on our website. And so after the story broke, there was a national backlash, and there people were horrified to see what had happened, that this man was being pushed to the ground, tasered, hit, and choked. It was a very unfortunate and preventable incident. And with that, we learned that HOH provides public safety training, and we have in the past provided training to the police department, and Michelle may talk about this eventually more, so I won't go into the training as much. But what I will say is that the charges, and ultimately what had happened is that the charges against Tyrone McAlpin were dropped. And the police involved were suspended or put on paid leave. And what I learned as of yesterday, there's a new news article that talks about how the police department, the Phoenix Police Department, is doing a special investigative unit. SID, I think is what it was. I'd have to look again as to what it was. So they are looking further into the actions of the officers, and we will learn more what happened eventually. What we do want to encourage is to take that training, to learn how to engage and approach a person who does not hear, uh, uh, or uses a different language. And so that's another angle that, we are also keeping in mind legislatively. It, but what we'd like to do is see what's happened right now with uh, the executive and governmental decision that will take place going forward. So any questions regarding that?
Yeah, please feel free to turn your camera on if you have any questions more for Nikki.
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for those important updates, Nikki. I just wanted to remind everyone too, in regards to what Nikki just said, such an unfortunate situation, and to remind everybody that we do have the visor cards as well. So whether for the hard of hearing and for the deaf, if even if we're just pulled over, and if we're especially if we're on the highway, and as we all know, that traffic going by makes it almost impossible for us to communicate with an officer or to follow his instructions. And of course, there can be a misunderstanding if they feel that we are not following what they're asking of us. So it's so important for those of us who have any level of hearing loss to have one of these in your glove box. So when you are sharing your license and registration, you can give the officer information on communication and let them know that you're hard of hearing. And I know Michelle will probably say more on that, but I just wanted to make sure that, Harvey still has I know, it's so important that we all have these. And if anybody needs more of these, I can certainly mail them to you. We have a lot to hand out at the commission. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. If there's no other questions, I will go ahead and move on to the next agenda item, which I believe is myself. And I'm going to just pull up my notes here. So as far as the hard of hearing specialist report, I just wanted to begin by giving an enormous shout out of gratitude to Ron Tallman. Ron, this is for you, for your amazing leadership and coordination of another amazing Arizona Walk for Hearing. Ron, I know Ron puts his entire heart into all he does for our community, and I can't say how fortunate we are to have your leadership in this and all of the time spent. Yeah, I know I'm going to let you share all of the details on the walk, but I wanted to recognize you for all of your hard work and dedication, because I think we have one of the best walks. So really, really grateful for you. I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Christy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We look forward to hearing the numbers and all of the details. Okay. Next, I just wanted to take a moment to share here at the commission, one of the biggest things that I spend my time on is the Hearing Healthcare Assistance Project. We call it HAP. And this is a partnership that we have with ASU, NAU up in Flagstaff, and U of A down in Tucson. We assist low-income adults with obtaining hearing aids and also oral rehabilitation, which we all know is a crucial component to navigating life with hearing loss. So this project continues to be really busy. I'm becoming very popular and well-known, and people are emailing me, and the list is growing. We've referred over 104 people now for the program, but have assisted thousands of people because not everybody qualifies. So if they don't qualify, then I give them other information, resources. I tell them about the Hearing Loss Association of America and all of the other information out there that might be helpful, and also other programs that do provide help with hearing aids. So try our best to get people that information and resources that they need. So that's the other thing that I spend the majority of my time on is presentations. And since we met last August, we've been incredibly busy, and I just want to kind of give you an idea of some of the presentations that I do either by myself, or I often present with Kim Menard, who's our deaf specialist. So I presented for the Americans Disability National Network. That was online, so that was a wonderful presentation. I was invited back. And again, this is all about in regards to navigating hearing loss and how do we have equal access and effective communication. We also, Kim and I presented for the University of Arizona Disability Resource Center. So that was a great way to connect with them, and we look forward to connecting with other universities and colleges and making sure that they know all of the information and resources that the commission does have. Kim and I also then presented for the Escalante Senior Center, and that was really fun. We did that in person, and we can do any type of venue like the senior center, retirement communities. I was also excited to go to the Hearing Loss Association of America, or the HLA West Valley chapter. I know we all started back up in October for our chapter meetings, and I was able to share a little bit about my cochlear implant story with a group. So that was really a great experience to connect with everyone on that and tell them about my experience and the process of getting a cochlear implant. People had a lot of great questions, so it was wonderful. We also presented for the Arts and Cultural Education and Community Engagement Group. This is just a group of people that are passionate about helping Arizona in various venues for community engagement and arts and culture. So it's actually led to them referring us to a museum down in Tucson, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. Michelle will help me. But people are just interested. How do we make sure that our visitors have access? You know, how do we make sure that we're accommodating our deaf and hard of hearing people? And so that's one reason we love to do these presentations. Kim and I also went to visit Phoenix, which is right here in Arizona. So what do deaf and hard of hearing people need when they are visiting Phoenix? So we just give our presentation and information and resources, and it's always a great discussion. We also presented for the Phoenix Indian Medical Center, and for Phoenix Indian Medical Center, we did our CARE presentation. And CARE is our communication access resources for empowerment that we do for healthcare professionals. And we do that for hospitals all across Arizona or any healthcare setting. Because as we all know, being hard of hearing or deaf, it can be very challenging to navigate healthcare appointments, not only as a patient, but I know, for example, me as a hard of hearing mom, and my daughter has typical hearing, but what do we do? What do we need in order to have access to that important information instructions and anything that we may be receiving in those important appointments. So just in December, I'm looking forward to going to the Chandler Gilbert Community College. They've asked us to present in one of their lifelong learning classes, so that'll be really fun, and I'm looking forward to that. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do now, if anyone has any questions, let me know. That's just a little bit on what I do, keeping very busy. And I want to go ahead and invite Michelle to pop on and share her report, and then please let us know what questions you're having or thinking about. I'll let you take it away, Michelle.
Thank you, Christy. Wow. So here we are, almost Thanksgiving. It's November. But we are so glad to have this cool weather here in the desert Southwest. So I'm Michelle Michaels, and I am the manager of Hard of Hearing Programs and Services at ACDHH, also managing hearing healthcare services. And I've been with ACDHH for 17 and a half years now. So I'm really, really excited about all the work that we're doing at ACDHH with a small staff of 21, with a budget of about $5 million a year, being able to accomplish all the things that we do as a team. Today, we specifically talk about the hard of hearing, a population which numbers 1.3 million in Arizona. But our team does so much with so many of our populations, in particular our deaf-blind population, people who have deaf blindness or combined vision and hearing loss, as Nikki, our Director of Public Policy, mentioned in our budget request. We're asking for double the amount of money that we've had to serve this particular population. And it's so important. We know as hard of hearing people how isolating it can be with our hearing loss. But just imagine not just being hard of hearing or deaf, but also being blind. It's just double. And so we really want to help this community. So let me see. Gosh, I've got a smattering of things. I wanted to follow up a little bit on the smoke alarm walk, which is in Prescott and Prescott Valley next Friday. Some of our staff will be going up to Prescott and staying overnight and participating in that. It's crucial that we understand that when we have hearing loss, we don't hear very well, obviously. And when we're sleeping at night, we take off our cochlear implants and our hearing aids. And sometimes that means, particularly if you're bilateral cochlear implant, you're deaf. And so it's just so important that we have access to smoke alarms. And excuse me. So if you know anybody in Prescott or Prescott Valley, excuse me, who needs a smoke alarm, please let them know. Just 1 minute. Okay, drinking water. So the other thing that I wanted to mention was about Tyrone McAlpin, that case. I was working for ACDHH when we started the public service trainings and public safety service trainings. That was in 2017 and 2018. I remember waking up every morning, every Friday morning at 4 o'clock and getting ready for work and leaving my house at 5 a.m. to drive to the city of Phoenix, the Phoenix Police Department location, where we presented an in-person training. It was a 2-hour training. So me and other staff, and we did that. It took us about 18 months, I think, to train every sworn police officer for the city of Phoenix. So that was from 2017 to 2018. And it's just so important that our peace officers understand what to do when they encounter someone who isn't responding in the way that they expect. You know, I know that we worry when we maybe our hearing aids got damaged and we don't have them on. We left our cochlear implant at home, the batteries died, this kind of thing. So I know what we as hard of hearing people worry about how we would communicate with the police officer. So we delivered these trainings, and then we worked with AZ Post, POST, so Peace Officer Standards and Trainings organization, and we worked with them and created video modules of our training so that any peace officer throughout the state, sheriffs, deputies, clerks, whoever, could go online and take this training through AZ Post. And so that training was up for quite a while. And we had learned that it wasn't available, but now that we're learning that it is still available, we hope so. It's completely voluntary that the police officers take the training, but it will help so much. So when this happened with Tyrone, people started reaching out to me, attorneys, public defender. And so I dug into it and got up all of the details about the case, about the situation with our trainings. We issued a public statement. Nikki issued a public statement about that, but we've continued to be involved in this, continue to follow it. We're starting to work with the Department of Justice on an initiative to see how we can reach the police officers better throughout the state. And in fact, in the country, this is an issue not just in Arizona. And so I'm glad that I think things will improve in that area. But if you ever have any encounters, any incidents, any situations, if you know any police officers that you want us to offer training to, we'd be happy to do that. We love doing what we're doing. So health and safety, right? Let's protect ourselves at night when we're sleeping. Let's get those smoke detectors in. And let's make sure that we have our visor cards and we think ahead what would happen if we needed to speak with a police officer. Other things. Gosh, Christy has been busy. She was in Tucson the other day working all day. And while she was in Tucson, 6 people who they didn't meet her in Tucson or anything. 6 people reached out in one day to our agency saying, I need hearing aids. We know it's a huge, huge unmet need. And the wonderful thing is that if they don't qualify for our small project, they get information and resources that makes a difference. And I want to talk a little bit about making a difference. Oh, one of our guests today is Harry Wolf. Harry Wolf is a wonderful hard of hearing advocate ally. I met Harry in October of 2018 when he walked into our office and he said, hey, I'm struggling with hearing in my Toastmasters group. And so we sat down with him, talked about technology. I met with him again, talked about telecoils and Bluetooth and loop systems and all that. And Harry, being a go-getter guy he is, just took off like, wow. Oh, but you know how it is when we first learn about loops and telecoils and our mind is like, wow. He just took off with it. And in April of 2019, he approached me and said, I want to start a Toastmasters group just for the hard of hearing and have it in a loop space. And so we worked together to find a space. And he has just taken and grown the first in the world Audible Talkers Toastmasters group. It's on Zoom now because of COVID and all that, went virtual. So Harry's going to be talking to us a little bit later about that. And it's just going to be really, really fun and exciting. But kudos to the people in our community who see a need and create a solution for it, because we can't do it all by ourselves. Christy mentioned some of the work that we're doing out in the community, and I have, let me look on my other screen, I have the stats. Since our last meeting, the ACDHH CAU team, that's the team of us who report directly to Carmen Green, our deputy director, Carmen Greensmith. We have done 23 trainings since August 16th, and had 11 booths. And through the end of this year, we have 6 more trainings scheduled and 1 more booth. So we've been busy. It seems every week we're out here, there, everywhere, working. One of the things also about being out there everywhere is we have our first new staff member, Latrina, who is actually based in Tucson. So she lives in Tucson. The rest of us live here in the Phoenix area, the Valley of the Sun, but we serve the whole state. We will go anywhere in the state, but it's really great to have Latrina in Tucson. And most of our meetings are virtual, so yeah, it's not an issue. And so I hope some of you who are in Tucson can get to know Latrina and connect with her about anything that's happening. She serves the families and children, but there's no wrong door with ACDHH. So anything you hear about, please let us know. One of the things that we did in August down in Tucson was we did a training with the Tucson Medical Center. And there's something, I don't know if you've ever heard of this. It's an experiential thing, a disability awareness type of training experience, where it's called Deaf World, which was created by and for the deaf. And ACDHH has taken that concept and enlarged it to include all of our communities. And so we've now branded this, our experience, as Experience Our World, where we took the Tucson Medical Center staff who came to our training and gave them a half-hour experience of what it's like when the tables are flipped. So all of the doctors and nurses and clerks and things were deaf or hard of hearing. And they, as hearing patients, had to figure out how to communicate with somebody who's signing or writing or speaking loudly, that kind of thing. So it was really, really successful. Very good feedback on that. And so that's really exciting. This new, again, we're just continually creating new things. Experience Our World is a fabulous thing to go through and definitely very effective. So that happened. But something else that happened in September, and again, I focused a lot on health and safety, medical training, things like that. In September, up in Pine, Arizona, which is an unincorporated community, there was a wildfire approaching. And a friend of mine who lives up there let me know that there was a community meeting and that there were ASL interpreters at the community meeting, but there were no captions. So I dug into that and communicated with our executive team, and we looked into that and had some conversations about that. There should be captions at every community meeting in any type of emergency situation, like a wildfire or flooding, whatever it might be. We love having ASL interpreters there, but for the hard of hearing people who don't know sign language, and not most of us don't, the captions are really, really important. So we got into that. If you see these kinds of things happening, let us know, because as a government agency, we can reach out to our government partners and strengthen that partnership and make sure that access is being provided. So that's something I worked on in September. Let's see, there's going to be a senior expo next week in Glendale, November 21st from 10 to 1. And so if anybody over in the West Valley wants to go to that, Christy will be there. So that'll be fun. And I want to mention something else. One of my other team members, Vicki, she's not on this call today. Vicki is our assistive technology specialist, and she's currently working on creating a video to explain how their Arizona Relay Service works. And she's doing that for a training that will be provided to City of Phoenix employees. Again, City of Phoenix is one of the largest cities in the country, and they reached out and wanted to make sure that their employees knew how to answer a relay call. One of the beautiful things is that when we train about the Arizona Relay Service, Vicki will also train about how to answer a video relay call. So for people who are using video relay service, we train about that. If it's an internet captioned telephone call, she'll train about that. So she's working on that video. It'll be a training for the City of Phoenix on in their e-learning system. So, but we're really glad to be able to get that out to those folks. So let's see what else. Smoke alarm walk, video training. Christy asked me about the museum in Tucson. That is the MoCA, Museum of Contemporary Art. And so the museums are reaching out to us. I became a member of an arts and culture group throughout Arizona, talking to them about access to the arts. So important. We don't want to stay home and watch TV, right? We want to get out there. And again, another shout out to Mr. Ron Tallman, one of my favorite people in the world, for the Walk for Hearing and everything that he and his team do. That walk was so fun this year. It was a couple weeks ago. The kids had a blast, and Latrina was there, just smiling the whole time. So we just love being out there in the community. Anything we can do for you, any ideas, anything, please let us know. I will stop it here because I know we got a lot more to talk about today.
Thank you, Michelle. All right. I think Michelle froze, but that's okay. I think what we're going to do, it's 10 of 10. So I'm going to, next on our agenda is Cynthia, and Cynthia comes from the Adult Loss of Hearing Association, Aloha in Tucson. Yay, another great representation from Tucson. And Cynthia, is your video working?
No, it's not. I'm not able to turn it on. I've tried. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. We'll let you go ahead and share, and then after that we'll take a short break. But we're looking forward. Everyone has the captioning, and so we'll look forward to.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yes, I can having to turn it on again. In the chat because it stops all the time. Oh wait, good.
Huh. Oh, there we go. Great. Okay. Welcome,
Okay.
Cynthia.
It makes me sort of more accountable for what I do when I can see myself. Okay. First of all, I just wanted to thank Michelle and Christy again for attending the 40th anniversary celebration in March. And Lou Touche, who was a board member of ours and has moved to Washington, had a huge part in that. He helped me with it. He helped me with the program because there wasn't anybody else around to do that. I have been, last July, I informed the board that I would resign on December 31st of this year. And I talked to them about getting a search committee, and so far nothing has happened. So whether it's because they love me so much they can't bear to have me go, or I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, people have been less able to volunteer since COVID, and we have suffered a great loss of volunteers at Aloha. And we did have a secretary in the beginning for a short while, but since about 2.5 years, I've been both the president and the secretary, which is a difficult job to do. It's a lot to do because of the quantity. So volunteers haven't been jumping up, and I just recently sent out a notice to everybody on our list that we need a director and a secretary. And now we have a candidate for director, thank heavens, because nothing was happening. And I was very worried about this. And we have 2 guys in the organization who do a whole lot of work. And that's about it. I do too. I do a great deal of work, and we're looking for people on the board to step up and help. So we owe it to Aloha to see if we can continue and not dissolve. So we are spending our November meeting going to the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona Center for Healthy Nonprofits, which has a workshop called Governance is a Team Sport. And that's, I hope, is going to set the tone for us to move forward. Let me see what else. Oh, we had our office manager, who is fabulous, resigned. She needed a full-time job because she has a daughter with health issues. And we were so sorry that she left, but she found us a replacement office manager who is learning very quickly, and we're so thankful for that. So that's where we stand right now. After this meeting of the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, we will decide whether we will dissolve or not, but most of us are of the mind to say, no, we must save Aloha. That's what I have for today.
Thank you, Cynthia. We appreciate you being here, and Michelle and I were so happy that we could join you for the 40th celebration, and that I refer people to Aloha all the time. So if people don't, I was telling people about you when Latrina and I were at the Tucson Expo Center the other day too. So yeah.
Yeah, so Christy, we have more and more people coming in that we serve, and it would be such a shame to have to dissolve. We definitely do not want to do that. So I think things are beginning to come together.
Wonderful. It's so important, and so important in reaching all across the state to have someone down in Southern Arizona, somewhere where they can go to get information and resources. It is so important. So I'm hoping that I know it takes a lot of manpower, a lot of commitment and hours and work. So we're hoping that
Yes, thank you
that'll
so
all
much.
come together for you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I am going to try, let's see here, to share my screen just for a second. I'm going to see if this works. But I want to make sure, is everyone able to see the quote? And is everyone able to see me and the interpreter? I want to just, Cynthia mentioned Lou Touche, and I love this quote. I just want to read it. I share this when I present, because when Michelle and I did go to the 40th celebration down in Tucson, Lou shared this quote, and it just touched me, and I know it'll touch all of you too, but its hearing loss is not merely a physical condition. It's a profound human experience that affects every aspect of one's life. It impacts communication, relationships, and emotional well-being. It can isolate individuals from the world around them, diminishing their sense of belonging and connection. So I just wanted to share that, because that is why we're all here, and certainly why you're all so important, and everything that you all do and for our community and the leadership. And we appreciate all of the time spent, and really it makes such a difference. So thank you. And with that, I think what we'll do here, it's 9:57. So I think we'll take a 5-minute break just to give our interpreters and CART a 5-minute break. And we will come back at 2 minutes after, well, now it's 9:58 I have. So let's come back at 3 minutes after 10, everyone. Okay, we'll just take, Ricky's going to put up our break slide. I believe he has that. I think you have that, Ricky, or I can share it. Let's see here. Oh, Ricky did it for me. Thank you so much, Ricky. Perfect. And we'll see everyone. We'll see everyone back just about a few minutes after 10, 2 to 3 minutes after 10. I'll wait for everyone to get back. All right, thank you. Alrighty, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a chance to have a short break there. Fingers stretched. All right, we'll go to our next agenda item. And I would like to welcome Commissioner Melanie O'Rourke, who is also the president of the Hearing Loss Association of America, or HOA West Valley chapter, to give her announcements. And then after that, we'll let Ron give the announcements for the East Valley. Welcome, Melanie.
Hi there. Hello, everyone. We have been really busy this past couple of months. We've kind of decided the West Valley is working on marketing to see if we can get the word out. We keep running into people in the West Valley that say they have not heard about our Hearing Loss Association, and they're really grateful when they get the information, obviously, and come to a meeting. So we have found that there are a lot of these little senior expos that come up in various groups. You have to kind of know where you're at. But anyway, Shannon, Tyree, and myself attended one in Sun City West. We have some members from that community, and so we're hoping that we reach some people there, and then we have some things coming up in 2025 that will be part of different senior expos. And we've also been, Shannon has been a little bit more aggressive about marketing our dates and our meetings. So that's both in the newspaper, in print, and online. What else? We have had our meetings, have had fairly good attendance, and we've been happy about that. This past couple of months, starting in October, I think, as Christy and Michelle mentioned, Christy spoke about her cochlear implant journey, and that really, really was very well received, and a topic that members had been asking about. We are having the trifecta of the Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing members. So just 3 days ago at our Tuesday meeting, we had Sherry Collins, the executive director, give a presentation, pretty much walk down memory lane of the Arizona Commission beginning and all the things that have been added under her leadership. And what I found so amazing was that so many of these items and projects have recently been started, but to me, it made me think that it has always been a part of the Arizona Commission. So I guess I just feel that the Arizona Commission has been there and has always looked at ways to make things more accessible for individuals with hearing loss. And then in December, we're going to have Vicki Thompson come and share information about the telephone distribution program. So that's where we're at. I can't think of anything else to add, and I don't have Fred here to say, add something, Fred. So we actually, I actually did think of another thing. Back at our October meeting, we actually had a survey for our members. So after Christy presented, we handed out those surveys and we locked the door and said, you have to stay in the room and fill out the survey. We did not lock the door, but we did give the members right there an opportunity to fill out the survey, and more than half of them graciously filled it out, and we received some volunteers that I don't think we would have reached before. So we feel it's a great way to continue to reach out to our members and see what particular interests we have. We know we always kind of set the presenters to topics that we think we would like to hear about the board, but we also want to reach out to the community members and let them know what else is out there. So actually, with that in mind, we're having some presentations on in the future on cochlear implants and medication as related to hearing loss. And that's all I have to say now. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. I just wanted to add one thing. I think it would be a big maybe way to, if you talked about marketing. So I know more and more I'm being invited to present for retirement communities. And there are so many, obviously, with more than 60% of people over the age of 60 having some level of hearing loss. That would be a great way to, and I always do tell them about the HOH chapters, but that is another, maybe getting those names of the activity leaders and just letting them know that about your group. I think, especially for the communities that are near, that would be a great way to let people know too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That would be wonderful.
Okay, great. Thanks, Melanie.
Okay.
And now I will, does anybody have any questions for Melanie? And if not, I will let Ron take the next spot. Welcome, Ron.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Our chapter keeps meeting right on schedule. In October, it was met in October after the convention. We kind of opened up our October meeting with just a general session of open dialogue and discussion. Christy Abrams did come out for that also, and kind of did an open forum of how people enjoyed or what was the best part of the HLAA National Convention. And we opened that up, and we did have several members that did attend. And so it was a great experience. We also did something along hope, hearing other people's experiences along, and where we talked about individuals, what was challenging, what happened good, what happened bad during the summertime according to their hearing loss. And so that was always a great experience, hearing what other people have to say. Last month we had Mr. Matt Gonkov come out from Intercaption, and he shared some great stories about how Intercaption works. It's an app on your phone. And he stayed even afterwards to talk to individuals and see if this is an avenue for which they want to do great information. In December, we will have Christy Knoll Marissi with the Diamond Dogs. And so we're going to have a lot of dogs come out and visit with us. January will be Susan Schmidt and Dr. Susan Schmidt from, and she will talk on balance issues. Now, she did this presentation during the COVID, and so this is going to be the first time she's going to come out on this subject and discuss it in person. So that should be pretty nice. And then, like the West Valley, we have Vicki Thompson in February. Well, she'll talk about the telecommunications equipment distribution program. And she's always a big hit, and everybody gets real surprised at some of these items that you can get that will assist them with their hearing loss. And so we're looking forward to her coming out. And then Ingrid McBride will be out in March. She will talk about upcoming changes that may affect all of us. About Orcast. And then April, Dr. Rao and company will be out from ASU. And we'll do a short presentation on living well with hearing loss. Then we'll close out the season with Amanda Luker from the Association of Commuter Transportation. She's going to talk about the challenges of traveling with hearing loss. So that's new. We're her first group that she will present to this subject on. So that should be pretty nice. We also continue doing Hope on the fourth Thursday of every month. Hope our attendance has been pretty good. We're averaging between 22 and 30. Hope has been a little bit small, but that usually takes some time to build up. So if anyone has any questions about our East Valley chapter, you can ask them now, and then I'll move on to the Walk for Hearing. Okay, so the Walk for Hearing was on the 2nd of November, and this was the 9th walk that we were able to do. And I will agree with both the comments from Christy and Michelle that it was just absolutely great. We had twice as many children than we have ever had before. And we danced, we played music, we had ice cream, we walked. It was just a great Arizona fall day. And the energy that was out there and the individuals that attended was just absolutely phenomenal. We had 433 registered walkers, and we raised just over $43,000. And 40% of that money can stay here in Arizona. Now, at least we'd like to hope so. We will do this again next year, which will be the 10th year. And we are looking at the 1st of November right now. And I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to land. So mark your calendars. And it is just a great way to bring the hearing loss community together. And it's a lot of fun. Families show up. So many kids show up. It was just a great, great experience. Thank you, everyone, for the accolades. I deeply appreciate it. Now, I will pass it on to the Walk for Hearing board. And I just can't say enough about how we did that this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. It was such a fun walk this year. I wanted to say Children's Hospital was there, and I've formed a great connection with them. They had an opportunity for us to come, and they had a whole room full of tables of information for the families of children, all ages, infancy up until there was kids from high school who either have cochlear implants or families that are thinking about kiddos that may need a cochlear implant. So the cochlear implant team stopped by the table, and they, I now am familiar with them, and some of the kids were asking to see my cochlear implant because it's actually pink and my hearing aid's pink. So what a difference to a child to know, hey, look at all these people like me, big people that have cochlear implants, and they're not alone. I didn't know anybody like me growing up hard of hearing. I didn't know anybody else that had hearing aids. So it's great to see people. We had people signing, we had people, it was awesome. We had interpreters and we had Latrina, and it's just wonderful to bring everybody together. Yeah, it was great. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. Anybody have any other questions for Ron before we move on to our next agenda item?
I just wanted to, 2 comments things that happened out there. One is the children that play in the children's area where the bounce house is. I like to walk over there because there are generally children who are bilateral with cochlear implants. Yeah. And it just warms my heart that we're treating hearing loss at such a young age now. And it's just absolutely fabulous and what's being accomplished. And I am so proud to be a part of it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ron. Okay, everyone. Next on our agenda, we have something a little bit unique, and I'm really excited about this. Harry, you're welcome to turn on your camera. Harry Wolf, and Michelle mentioned this earlier in our meeting. Harry is coming to us from Audible Talkers Toastmasters, where he is currently the president of our club. And he's also, like Michelle said, the founder of Audible Talkers Toastmasters. And I've been with Harry, I'm one of the charter members myself. So I'm fortunate to be able to see him several times a month in our meetings. And I just want to say before Harry starts, when I started at the commission, I had been in social services and was a social worker, but I did not love public speaking. I really didn't. It was hard. I didn't have a lot of confidence because I couldn't hear when people were asking me questions, and also just even my own voice. I don't hear my own voice very clearly. So speaking, it wasn't my favorite thing. So Harry, you really have given me a safe place to practice and be comfortable and build confidence. And now every time I present, I can't wait to do it. So thank you for that. And I'm going to turn it over to you. I know I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing for us today.
Yeah, thank you, Christy. Can everyone hear me? Didn't get a response, but I'm assuming, okay, very good. Thank you very much, Christy. Raise your hand if someone said to you something so unexpected that you were speechless. That happened to me in the 1990s. I was preparing population estimates for the cities and towns in Maricopa County. One city manager was furious with our estimate of his city and called me into his office. He said, "Harry, you always underestimate our population and overestimate the population of the small cities. You're manipulating the numbers. You're giving our population to the small cities to make them like you." No, sir, we don't do that. We're honest. Our numbers are good. Members of the Arizona Hard of Hearing Task Force, I joined Toastmasters to learn how to think on my feet and respond calmly to comments, even comments like that. Toastmasters helps members become better speakers through impromptu speaking exercises. Today, I would have no problem responding to the comment and calmly responding to the comment. I founded Audible Talkers in 2019 because I was having trouble hearing the speakers in another Toastmasters club of which I was a member. Being a good speaker helps you meet your goals and resolve conflicts. Audible Talkers accommodates hard of hearing people so they can use the Toastmasters program. Audible Talkers makes meetings hearing accessible by using captioning, sending out written transcripts of the speeches, and using chat or PowerPoint to supplement the spoken word. ATT is a valuable resource for hard of hearing people who want to become better and more self-confident speakers. Shelley Wyatt joined the club in 2020. Thank you, Christy, for recommending her, because she was having trouble dealing with media interviews. She froze during one TV interview. So Christy suggested that she join our club. Christy gave 6 speeches, and with each one she improved. Shelley, I meant to say Shelley. And with each one she improved and gained more confidence. She competed in an area contest and took first place, competing against 3 people with typical hearing. I think she's still in shock. To demonstrate how much fun or interesting a Toastmasters meeting can be, I'm going to do an impromptu speaking session. I'm going to demonstrate it. Christy is going to answer the first question. She's familiar with it. And then I have 2 people who have volunteered to answer 2 other questions. No need to worry about the questions. They're pretty open-ended. So Let me see if I can share my screen, because one of the things we learned just this year is we need to have text to complement our questions, the table topics. So let's see what I can do here. All right. Let's see. I need to move things around a bit in order to do this. Eventually, I will find what I'm looking for here. I need to make this for the whole screen. Again, here's a case where the captions are getting in the way, and now, without the captions, I see what to do. All right. So here's a demonstration of what we do in table topics, okay? Our first speaker who will demonstrate what we do is Christy Abrams. Christy. Not moving. There we go. Christy, what are you optimistic about?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. One of the things that I'm most optimistic about right now is my cochlear implant journey. I was implanted with a cochlear implant in May, and I was activated in June. And I didn't have what's called a rock star activation, but I think I'm having a rising star activation, because as I work very hard every single day on rehab to retrain my brain, I am optimistic about my brain's ability to form new pathways and to learn the sounds that it hasn't heard in decades, and to make those sounds speech sounds, so that I can reconnect to my friends and my family and just feel that I have, it just really gives me such a connection, and I don't feel so alone. So I'm really optimistic about that.
Thank you very much, Christy. When we call on someone for table topics, they have 1 to 2 minutes to respond, and we time them because it's important to be concise when you're speaking, and turn on a green light at the 1 minute, 1.5 a yellow light, and 2 a red light, and then there's a little bit of a grace period. So I thought that was important to explain. Next question for Cynthia Ammerman. Cynthia, who inspires you and why?
I would say that my family and my church both inspire me a lot. I feel so connected with people. Also, my neighborhood association. I really have a big support group all over the place. My neighborhood, one woman decided that she should get the neighborhood together. Before that, we didn't know anybody on the road. We didn't know who they were. We didn't know their dogs' names or anything like that. But Linda Ross created this Grandin Road Association that included my road as well. And now we have game nights and parties and all sorts of things. And everybody is getting to know everybody in the neighborhood. As for my family, I spend plenty of time with them in the Adirondacks in the summer, and in the winter, they come. My sister-in-law and her husband come and visit us. My granddaughter is living with me right now, which is just absolutely wonderful. She's been in the Netherlands for 5 years before now, and I just feel extremely fortunate and really surrounded by people who are in my corner and I'm in theirs. I think, I don't know how long that was, but it wasn't long enough, obviously.
Okay. That's okay.
And
Don't worry.
Harry, this is
Yeah.
Christy. I'm so sorry to interrupt. One thing that we discovered, and we discover things with technology, is when you're sharing your screen, we no longer have access to the interpreter on YouTube. So if you wouldn't mind not share, stopping your screen share and verbalize the third question for Liz, and we can maybe even put it in the chat so that we have full view of the interpreters on YouTube.
I'll tell you what, let me just show the question and then I'll
Okay.
drop the screen share. Okay?
Okay, great.
Okay, Liz Booth, what gets you excited about life? What gets you excited about life?
I'm sorry, I had to turn on my audio here.
That's okay.
All right, what gets me excited about life is my grandchildren, I think. When I see their enthusiasm as they grow and experience different things along the different stages of their life, it gives me kind of hope, I suppose, and it's just wonderful to relate to them as they go through their activities, as they have their deep conversations with grandma. It makes it, oh, I'm sorry, it makes it just very exciting for me. It's inspiring. When I think about my grandchildren, I realize they have all had to grow up and make accommodations for me because of my hearing loss. And the fact that they are so accepting of it has made them more sensitive, I believe, to other people in their life. And that's truly exciting for me as I see them a part of a future dealing with the diversity in our population and me being certainly an example to them. So I think of them, one is going off to college in about a year or so, and she's going to be meeting with all kinds of different people that I hope she is going to be very comfortable in dealing with. One is, well, two are in middle school, which is a very difficult time, but they too are dealing with diversity and sometimes come to grandma to talk a little bit about it. And even my very youngest, who has learned that you have to look at grandma to speak, that you might have to repeat something. And of course, 5-year-olds can get very frustrated with the communication process, but he is already learning. And this for me is very, very exciting because they enter my world a little bit in this way. And it has brought a closeness that I love. So I suppose I kind of look to those kids to give me a great deal of excitement for their future and our future.
Thank you very much, Liz. Members of the task force, if you know of a hard of hearing people, a person who wants to boost his or her self-confidence and become a better speaker, Audible Talkers can help him or her. Membership is $60 each 6 months, twice a year. You may visit one of our meetings or someone you recommend to see and experience a meeting and how enjoyable and educational it is without any obligation to join. We don't pressure people to join the club. We want you to join the club because you enjoy and benefit from the meetings. Our next meeting is Monday, November 18th, this coming Monday. If you can't attend that, we meet the first and third Monday of each month from 6 to 7:15. But this is going to be a special meeting because we have two wonderful speakers. The first speaker is a guest speaker, and his name is Ron Tallman. And the second speaker, who you also may know, is former president of the club, Christy Abrams. And so it's going to be an interesting meeting. I encourage you to attend if you wish. You can access all our meetings at zoom.audibletalkerstoastmasters, it's all one word, .com. If you want to send me an email, I can send you a formal invitation. But if you click on that link, you'll be able to enter the Zoom room. If you want more information, I suggest you email me or you text me. Christy, that's it. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Harry. That was great. Does anybody have any questions for Harry? All right, I just want to wrap that up. I want to just make one more comment in regards to Audible Talkers Toastmasters. It really is a great opportunity for hard of hearing people to connect. Even I'm thinking of people that are in the HOH chapters or Aloha chapters. It's 2 more opportunities in the month to just practice being assertive, practice self-advocacy, practice being engaged in a meeting, and it really does build your confidence. So if you have any questions, if you don't have Harry's email, feel free to ask me. And Harry, you have your hand up.
One more thing. If there is a hard of hearing person in VR, vocational rehabilitation, and that person is lacking self-confidence, they want to look for a job, our club is a good avenue for boosting their self-confidence and feeling more comfortable in interviews. And we actually have a woman who was a VR specialist herself who joined the club, and she's from Bangor, Maine. So we accommodate people all over the United States. That's all I have to add.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Harry. And with that, and thinking about employment, I would love to invite Harvey to pop on here and share any information that he has with us in regards to employment and the landscape in Arizona. Thanks, Harvey.
Well, thank you, Christy. And it's a little bit intimidating following Harry after his wonderful presentation. So thank you for that. The job market is changing. We are seeing a decrease in new job postings. And what that means is one of 2 things. Either there's simply less jobs available, or companies are being really cautious, seeing what the new administration will look like, seeing what the lay of the land will look like in the next 6 months. So we are seeing fewer new job postings. That being said, the job postings that were up prior to the election are staying up. They're not being pulled quickly or prematurely, so there's still a need there. The employers are getting a little bit more precise about their expectations for education and work experience. And we think that's because they're tightening up and being clearer about what they need to fulfill their roles effectively. So the days of 2 years ago where if you showed up and made an effort, you were pretty much guaranteed a job, I think are over. It is a renormalization of the supply versus demand. That being said, we are seeing some big cuts. We had Intel laying a few thousand people off a couple of weeks ago. We had Boeing laying people off last week. And we had a chief finance based out in Tempe that laid off people yesterday. So we are seeing some signs of stress in the labor market. The new administration that's coming in is going to cause a lot of challenges, shall we say, depending on what industry sector you're in. So, for example, if you are working in sustainable energy, you might have a problem. If you're working in mining, you might be guaranteed a job for the next 4 years. So there are plenty of changes coming. The upshot to all of this uncertainty is that this is a great time to try something new. So if you're thinking of changing careers, if you're thinking of moving into something else, this is a wonderful opportunity. And with that, I'll take questions.
Oh, and Melanie, did you have a question? Yeah. Oh, and you're muted.
That too. Okay. Are we good? Harvey, I just wonder if you could give me contact information. We had an attendee at our chapter meeting on Tuesday who is looking at getting back into the workforce. She's a young, I think, mother. I'm not sure, but she's definitely younger than all of us here. And she mentioned she would be looking into maybe HR positions, but she had questions about, like filling out an application. Do you disclose the hearing loss, or when do you disclose it? I did give her the contact information with Michelle and Christy for the Arizona Commission, but is there another source that you would suggest that I get back to her and say, this is also a good source to help you with job search?
Absolutely. I would start off with the website AZ Job Connection. I'll put them in the link. And then also Arizona at Work, that system, and I'll put their website in the link as well. Our job board has about 51,000 posted jobs on it as of yesterday afternoon. And what we're seeing is the return of face-to-face networking being affected. So, for example, I went yesterday to a face-to-face networking event, and it was wonderful because it was in a very noisy environment. It was one of these microbrewery bar kind of places, and it was acoustically a train wreck. But because it was full of HR people and recruiters, there was a lot of effort made to accommodate people's hearing loss. So it's nice. I think there was about 15 of us there, and I would say probably a third of us had some kind of hearing loss, even though that was not what this is about. So I am seeing employers being sensitive to that. So it's an interesting time to be looking for new jobs. So I'll put the information in the chat.
Okay. I always get confused. Is there, okay, so you put in the askjan.org disabilities hearing impairment. No, Michelle put that one in. Okay, Harvey Smith at maricopa.gov. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yep. Just let me put the other one in as well. So the other one is
Arizona at Work. Okay. Harvey.
And while Melanie is making note of what we put here in our Zoom chat, again, I'm not a lawyer. Arizona Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing does not provide legal services. However, when it comes to employment, we do often get that question, when do I have to disclose that I have a disability? You don't have to disclose that you have a disability until you get a written job offer. Don't just recommend you don't disclose unless you really have to. For instance, if you're deaf and you're going to go to an in-person interview, you're going to need an interpreter, right? So it's going to be obvious. But on the job application, it's most likely going to ask, can you do this job with or without an accommodation? Just simply say yes. Because with accommodations, we can do our job. And so that's where the job accommodation network comes in. I just spoke with someone yesterday at a medical office. I had a right routine appointment. And she said, young person. She said, I'm having trouble seeing my computer screen here. Hold on just a minute. Something with her eyes. And I immediately told her about the job accommodation network, because there's things that you can do for visual impairment with your computers. She had no idea. And she's working for a large medical facility. But anyway, yeah, so we don't have to disclose our disability until we get a written job offer. So keep that in mind. But avail yourself of the resources that are available at EEOC, Disability Rights Arizona, Harvey, expert in this field. So I hope you got all those links written down, Melanie, but we can always send this to you via email as well. Anybody out there, you need information, we will get it for you.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle and Harvey, for all those great links in the chat. And for anyone that may be watching this on YouTube now or in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to the commission. And like Michelle says, we're not lawyers, we're not audiologists, but we have so much information and resources to help you find what you may need to ask those questions, like the Job Accommodation Network, which is such a tremendous resource for people navigating employment. All right, does anybody have any last minute questions before we move on to our next agenda item? Okay, what I would like to do, this is an open discussion, so I want to make sure everybody has good vision though as far as seeing the interpreters. So I want to just throw out there, this is an open discussion for everyone. If anybody has any additional announcements, if you have any ideas, because we are a task force after all, you've contributed so many things. I just want to remind, the task force worked on the advisor cards that we have for hard of hearing and deaf. They also worked on creating the Please Face Me and Speak Slowly button. And they voted on our communication strategies. This is a magnet and this is a water bottle face sticker, which I give to all of our nursing students and healthcare professionals to put on their water bottle. It's small, but it's a list of communication strategies. So I'm hoping that the phrases are very short and easy to remember without reading paragraphs on, get attention first, 100% face to face, no more than 6 feet, speak one at a time. So excellent lighting. So all those things we need to do all those practices and habits that help us to be connected and have good communication. Okay, so the other question I have is, again, if you have any announcements, ideas, suggestions for a new project, and if anybody had an opportunity to look at our website, we have on the acdhh.org website a whole section for the hard of hearing community. We have hard of hearing resources, and just Michelle will say it's an accordion. Literally, when you go in, you can expand each section. So there's a lot to look through. But if anybody's had an opportunity to check that out, if you have suggestions, if it's difficult to navigate, or you feel something's missing, or you have something that you feel should be changed or revised, please let us know. Melanie.
It's been a while. It's been a little while since I've been on the Arizona Commission website. Well, actually, it really hasn't. I've been on it quite a bit. But back in the summer, we were reviewing various places that have induction loops for meetings. And I contacted a number of places in the West Valley who were on the list, who do not have induction loops either anymore, or the current people say they don't know what an induction loop is, and they, could find someone who didn't have it. And I was wondering if that's something that can be updated, because we do have people who are asking all the time, where else can I use my telecoil? Can I have used it for this induction loop?
Yeah, Michelle, I'll let you take this one.
Sure. Yeah, Melanie, we're going to update that. The whole loop thing, gosh, I've been here 17 years, and it started with Aloha. We just love Aloha, and Aloha needs to continue. So anybody in Tucson, please step up and volunteer. It's a great organization. Um,
Mm.
so looping really started in Arizona, in Tucson with Aloha, when they invited Dr. Dave Myers to come and talk about looping and telecoils. And so it spread and came up here to Phoenix, and people got involved with making sure that there are loops. And again, we're talking about room loops. We're talking about neck loops that you use at the movie theater, performance spaces. We're talking about countertop loops. You can loop your RV, taxi cabs. Looping can be done virtually anywhere. And so we just tried to get a list of places that were looped. Aloha had a list of places in southern Arizona. And but there is a new website. It's a national website called Hearing Loop, and it has a list of all the places throughout the country that are looped. And if there are any changes, additions, deletions, whatever, you just need to reach out to them and let them know. So if you find places that, like I remember Mesa Public Library was on the list of having a loop. And so I went over there and did a site visit, which is really the only way to really prove that there's a loop. And they had a little FM system, a little microphone sticking out of the AC vents. Bless their hearts. The person who installed it didn't know where to put the mic. And it wasn't even a loop system. So when we find those things, it's an opportunity to educate, but also to correct the listing. So what we're going to do with our website is remove a lot of the information that we have that says where places are looped, and actually list the Hearing Loop website, because they're kind of taking care of tracking all of that. So we will do that. We're going to keep other videos and things and resource guides, but a lot of it will link back to Hearing Loop. So we will get that changed ASAP, right, Christy? Christy, who's learning to. I do a lot of the website editing. Christy's learning how to do it. We just have a lot of tools in our toolbox.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll definitely do that for sure. And we just appreciate having this level of expertise. All of you have been navigating hearing loss either with cochlear implants or hearing aids, and you do it so well. So we're really so fortunate to have you here and have your input. And please let us know if you have any ideas or suggestions. And we have a few more minutes left. We have about 9 minutes left. So if anybody wants to pop on with your camera, if you have an idea or a suggestion, now is a great time. One of the things I wanted to let people know, I found this other button. Currently, our button says, please face me and speak slowly, which is great. I have told people that before, and then they start speaking too slowly. So I wonder about maybe changing up the words, changing the color. I found this other one, please face me, and it says, I hear you better when you please face me. So there's lots of fun things that we can do to change it up. And they're, just thinking about what are some things that we can put out there in the community. And I'm thinking about when we have booths at different senior expos, or when we do our presentations, or at the HLA chapter and the Walk for Hearing. What's something that we could have at our table that would really be a resource for someone? And that's what we're trying to capture. Melanie.
I have a question. Ever since Michelle showed me this, I just love this. But I have found that because I kind of, try to look at two screens or do two things, and when I put my phone in here, if I put it vertically, the microphones get, you can't hear as well. The hearing people will say, I can't hear you now that, and I know it's because I put my phone in here and it's covered up the microphones. So we have found a different device, and unfortunately, every time I've put mine out, someone has picked it up and walked away with it. It's a little device. Christy, do you have one that Shannon showed you or gave you about holding the phones? I'm sorry to
do. Let
bring
me
this
see.
up because I don't have the device, but we had talked about that as being a great piece to give out to people and to put like the Arizona Commission logo on it. I'll find another one and get it to you and hopefully get it out to people so they can see what it looks like, but it doesn't cover up the microphones, and you can also put the phone you know, horizontally and vertically. So that's my only suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. And Shannon did give me one of those. And forgive me, it left my brain and I don't have it here with me, but I have it at home and I will bring it in and show Michelle. I think that would be a great idea. But anything like that makes it easier for someone, that also has our contact information on it, info@acdhh, and something that they, you know, people love swag. We have the stress balls and all sorts of fun things on our table, but anything that they can take with them that will be useful is great. And that's a really good suggestion. I'll see if I can find that and I'll share it with Michelle. I'm sure I have it at home. And anything else that when you are out and about at an expo or a senior center or anywhere, if you see something like that and you think, wow, that would be really helpful, please take a picture and send it to us. And we just want to have some really fun things that we can provide and put out there for people. All right, let's see. It is 10:54 on my computer, 10:55 on my clock. So we've got about 5 more minutes. I'm going to look in the chat here, make sure we have a lot of great links in the chat. If for any reason you can't access those links, don't hesitate to email me. I can put together an email and send you the links that were shared here today in the meeting. And I'll put my email in the chat so people have that. If you don't have it, it's c.abrams@acdhh.az.gov for anyone that may not be able to see it on YouTube. We are here and happy to provide information and resources for anyone that's navigating any level of hearing loss, deaf, hard of hearing, deafblind. And 4 minutes left, so if anybody else wants to pop on with any suggestions for our next meeting, anything that you would like to see, a special visitor, a special speaker, we'd be happy to think about that and possibly add it to the agenda if we have time for next time. I do know we're still working on finalizing. Usually the hard of hearing task force follows the board meetings, but I don't have for sure those dates. But as soon as I do for 2025, I can't even believe we're here. We're about to have a holiday season in 2025. I'll get those 4 dates out to you for our next quarterly task force meetings in the coming year. And Michelle, am I missing anything? Is there anything else that anybody else can think of? Good. Okay, we got about 4 minutes. So I'm just, if you want to put your camera on, if you're thinking of something, I'm going to give it a Melanie.
You know, I just wanted to share one more thing about what's going on in the West Valley. We've reconfigured our chapter meetings, and we have we invite our members, friends, attendees, anyone to come about 45, actually an hour before the actual presentation. And we have what's called a brown bag or bring your lunch session. And Shannon is into tech, any kind of tech to help people with hearing loss. And she is providing informal presentations and getting this information. And we have people that obviously come for that program. have their phone, they find out that they can do more with it than just talk to someone. They can get all kinds of new captioning apps, and that's been a super great addition to our meeting. And they come for that program and stay for the presentation. So we've been really happy about that. And I think our other big focus has been getting individuals, like with the survey, just to interact more so we can get a feeling of what they really need and what else we can share with them to give. But that brown bag has been very successful in getting information out to people. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Melanie. I know when I attended in October, I came early enough and was able to talk with everybody and chat with everybody. And I was thinking, it really is an amazing time to have hearing loss or to be hard of hearing, because everybody seems to be more and more embracing the technology. And there's so many things that we can do as far as apps on our smartphone that give us maybe automatic speech recognitions for short interactions, or we can Bluetooth maybe to phone calls or Zoom meetings like I am now. I've actually called into the meeting, so I'm streaming, so the clarity is amazing. And then I also, of course, see everyone here on Zoom. But I think we've learned so much, especially since COVID, about accessibility and how important it is. And I feel the world is becoming more and more aware, and we are all here to help people do that, to become more aware. And I think because it really does take two people to communicate. Hard of hearing, no matter what type of hearing you have, typical or hard of hearing, it takes more than one person to communicate. So it's all about having information and resources, and we are here for you. And it's 11 o'clock, and I just want to say I'm grateful for all of you, and I wish you all a very safe and healthy holiday season ahead. And I will get the dates off to you for our next meeting. And I know Michelle's going to want to wish you well, too. You're welcome. Please feel free to turn on your cameras, everyone. I love to see your faces.